Everyone. Tears can be good or bad. The worst tears of all accompany a child's death. In this week's portion, Vayeshev, Jacob experiences such tears when his older sons bring him the blood-soaked coat of many colors, which Jacob personally made for Joseph. Assuming Joseph's death, Jacob declares, "I shall descend in mourning to Sheol," the netherworld. Sheol comes from the root sha'al, to question. Jacob shall never make sense of his tragic loss. He'll continue his whole life to ask questions. What might have been? Why? His grief inconsolable, Jacob never stops questioning why and wondering what if. Years later, Jacob learns that Joseph did not die. Reuniting in Egypt, tears of grief become tears of joy. Many parents, however, opportunity, and many youth do not receive teenage Joseph's new start in life. On April 2nd of this year, an anonymous teen posted, "I started getting bullied for being deaf when I was 10 years old. Then I started having suicidal thoughts, and I still have depression really bad to this day." Another post from March 7th. "When I was 8 years old, I started getting bullied because I am a Colombian and Cuban American. A girl said to me, 'I don't like you because you're not white.' I thought it was nothing," 8 years old. "I thought it was nothing at first, but then it escalated. She started to call me names, make fun of me, and then she tried to push me down the school stairs. I'm scared." In Benton, Louisiana, 5 bullies worked in concert with each other to bully 9th grader Levi Creech in person at Benton High School, and by text and by phone. Levi's parents met with school counselors at least 3 times due to the bullying. On August 27th, Levi had enough. He committed suicide. Isabella Izzy Ticknor, the only Black student in her class at Foxborough Elementary School in North Salt Lake City and on the spectrum for autism, was bullied by students who said she smelled, who made fun of her skin color, eyebrows, and used racist slurs. Izzy's parents repeatedly alerted the school of bullying for months. Fox Elementary School is part of the Davis School District that was reprimanded a year earlier by the U.S. Department of Justice for failing to address widespread racial discrimination and was ordered as part of a settlement agreement to change its policies, offering more training and establishing a new department to handle complaints. That apparently did not happen. I picked these stories randomly after reading story after story after story after story online. A Kaiser Foundation study found that 86% of children ages 12 to 15 receive unbearable teasing or bullying at school, making bullying more prevalent in our schools than smoking, alcohol, drugs, or sex. The cases I cited are about in-person bullying, but cyberbullying is also a real problem. In fact, newer technologies and platforms enable bullies to wreak more havoc while remaining anonymous. 95% of teenagers are connected to the internet, and 87.5% of them state that they have seen cyberbullying occur online. Half do not know their attacker's identity. Some 58% have not told any adult, even their parents, about this. This week's Torah reading, Vayeshev, accurately portrays the dynamics of bullying. Joseph's brothers aligned themselves against Joseph, creating the power imbalance that bullies need. For Levi Creech, it was 5 bullies. For Joseph, it was 11. Joseph tended the flocks with his brothers, but once the bullying commences, he remains home. Like Joseph, victims of bullying avoid school or the workplace due to the emotional and physical toll. Bullies envy and resent their victims. Jacob favors Joseph by making that darn coat. The brothers envy the love and attention Joseph gets. Joseph's dreams reflect a deeply felt desire to upset the power imbalance, but they also fuel his brother's resentment. Bullies blame the victim. Rambam Nachmanides claims that Joseph painted his eyes and colored his hair. So Joseph's style and attention to it become their brother's pretext. This aligns with the report that some 61% of victims state that they are bullied for their appearance. Alternatively, Joseph's brothers may think or assume that he is gay or transgendered. Mental Health America reports that in the United States, anti-gay slurs occur every 14 minutes. In such a climate, bullying prospers. Bullies anger easily, quickly resort to force, and show little to no remorse. 3 times the text tells us that Joseph's brothers react to Joseph with hate. When Joseph arrives in Dothan, they quickly conspire to kill him. Joseph's brothers end up casting him into the pit and then immediately afterwards sit down to enjoy a meal, as if nothing happened. Finally, bullies do not respect others' authority. Joseph reports his brother's behavior early on, indeed in the 2nd verse of the portion, but Jacob does not act. He may not fully believe Joseph's report or understand their implications, and possibly he does not want to admit or consider his own role in enabling the bullying. Tim Field, the activist on workplace bullying, taught that bullies thrive whenever authority is weak. Joseph's brothers do not worry when Joseph tattles. They know their father is weak. So Joseph is left with nowhere to turn, yet he remains true to himself. Nowhere does he change his style, his speech to fit in. He realizes that he is created in God's image, so he does not need to change. The rabbi's epithet, Joseph HaTzadik, has been routinely interpreted to mean that Joseph is righteous. Bullying, of course, is neither right or righteous. Nothing justifies bullying. The victims are always innocent. So when our tradition calls Joseph HaTzadik, it does not mean righteous. It actually means innocent. He's blameless within the household's prevailing dynamics of bullying. In tomorrow's Haftarah, the patient God rejects us for one sin only, the selling of the innocent. Again, that use of tzaddik, the selling of the innocent for money and trampling on the heads of others into the dust of the ground, an act of bullying. I experienced that once myself. The family dynamics of bullying in Joseph's time later became a cultural marker in the time of Amos that defined the entire community. The Torah reading of Vayeshev shows that bullying has long-term effects on families and communities. So what shall we do? First, we can implement a no teasing policy in our homes, schools, and synagogues. Let's establish safe zones for those who exhibit differences, especially in personal style. Let's tolerate the one who dresses a little differently from you or from me. Let's tolerate no discriminatory language. That's so gay. Let's remind our children that God created everyone just as God wished, and that should be just fine for all of us, and that bullying is not okay. Let's speak with appropriate school personnel and hold them accountable to manage their school. And accountability means responsibility to set up appropriate systems to at least limit the amount and extent of bullying. Let's give our youth the tools that exist to instantly notify us when facing online bullying. Finally, let's begin an honest and holy communal cheshbon hanefesh, stock-taking, to explore what cultural and social cues have empowered the bullies. This sad scourge of bullying has shown us that too many youth find suicide preferable to life, and too many parents find themselves as Jacob, faced with senseless loss and inconsolable grief. Please, God, no more tears of Jacob and no more despairing lost Josephs. Shabbat Shalom.